So let's go ahead and take a look at the new ORiNOCO AP-9100R. R is for ruggedized. It's outdoor access point. Okay, this is what the new GUI looks like. And we're going to go ahead and cover a lot of the features that you see over here. Okay, all of these options. You could go ahead and open and close it and so on. All right, so just up top really quick, we have our system name, and we have a firmware build number, system uptime, admin, the user. There are 3 users, something that we covered in a previous video. We have admin, which is going to put you in the new simplified HTTP. We have advanced, which is for all that are familiar with our current products. It's access points that has more of the advanced features. Okay, and then there's monitor. Monitor is going to put you in this type of GUI, but no configuration, just strictly monitor. Over here we have home. Press on this, so it's going to take you back home. We have commit and then reboot. When there's an option that needs to be for the system to be rebooted, this is going to be flashing. Okay, so the summary page itself that's exactly what it is. It's actually fairly self-explanatory. We have the device details. We have the name, IP address, if it's network mode, the bridging or routing, IP address once again. We have our location information, latitude, longitude, so on. We have our Ethernet. Here's the Ethernet MAC address, and it's going to tell us what duplex we have. Okay, so over here we have, because this is a dual band radio, we have our 5 gig over here. It's going to tell us what the first SSID is, the country, whatever station's connected, operation mode, .11ac. That was only for 5 gigahertz. So if it's NG or so on, channel bandwidth, if it's 20, 40, 80. What channel on and what authentication we're using. The same thing for the 2.4. Okay. Down here we have our performance graphs for both 5 gig and 2.4. Down here we also have our spectrum analyzer. Okay, so we could do a spectrum analyzer for either 5 gig or 2.4 gigahertz. It's basically going to go out and do a scan on what it sees. Okay, and down here we go ahead and do a quick 2.4 gigahertz, so you can see just a scan through all of your channels, and down here it will show you what's on those particular channels, SSIDs, what mode it's in, if inscription, and things like that. So this is a pretty good tool for administrators to see what's on there and for proper channel planning. So let's go ahead and click back, and over here we also have our logs. Okay, just whatever logs we're having. This is going to be extremely important for troubleshooting, especially for technical support. And we also have our all the items that are available for the license info right here. So we could have it's 2 radios, 5 gig and 2.4, and things like that. Okay, so that is what the main screen looks like. Okay, so when you first power up the radio, okay, it's actually going to put you into this wizard mode. Okay, and I should have started off with that, but we ended up in the summary. So when you for the very first time when you power on each radio, it's going to put you in this wizard mode. It's fairly quick, fairly self-explanatory. Device name, the IP address by default is actually going to be dynamic. If you want to change it to static, do static. Go ahead and put in your IP info. Go ahead and click next. If this is a world radio, be able to select your country, your domain. Go ahead and put in your SSID for 5 gigahertz, 2.4. If you're going to be using security, go ahead and select the type of security, PSK, WEP, and so on. Go ahead and also select the type that you want on top of that. If you use PSK, and go ahead and put in your key. Okay, it's going to be 8 to 63 ASCII. Okay, go ahead and click finish. Okay, and basically what it's going to do is it's going to commit and reboot the radio. Okay, after that's done, then you will have access to the rest of the radio. Network configuration. This is where we're going to go ahead and change all of our basic network information. Here's the device name, deliver power over Ethernet, enable or disable. This is for the second Ethernet port. We are able to power on a PoE device such as an IP camera. Okay, by default it is disabled. If you want to go ahead and enable it, change our IP address static dynamic. If you have DNS primary, secondary, go ahead and click OK. Now down here we have all of the rest of the information. We have VLANs. Okay, we can do enable status if you're using radius VLANs, Q&Q. Okay, depending on the mode for each Ethernet. Okay, we could go ahead and set each one. Okay, we have filters. If you have specific filters, whatever filter you need to make sure this is enabled. If you have SDP, LCP frames, you could pass-through block, intra-PSS blocking. This is for wireless clients not be able to talk to other wireless clients. Okay, we have protocol filtering, UDP filtering, static MAC, storm threshold, advanced, and packet forwarding. Okay, make sure that you click OK. Okay, and then always commit. Right, we have DHCP server. By default, it is disabled. You could go ahead and enable. Mind you, for the DHCP server, it will provide IP address on the Ethernet side along with the wireless side. So you have to be careful. This is not a NAT, network address translation. So it is going to send IP addresses of both Ethernet and wireless. So if you already have an existing DHCP server, this is not recommended. Okay, go ahead and put in all your information. Okay, SMTP, this is going to be for your simple network time protocol. Okay, go ahead and enable, go ahead and enter all the information, or you could go ahead and manually type in the information right over here. Okay. And last but not least, in here we have our radius. Authentication and accounting server. Okay. After, once again, this is all done, go ahead and click OK for each one and then hit commit. If there's any reboots, the system is going to let you know. The Wi-Fi configuration portion is exactly what it is. Over here, we'll be able to change either the 5 gigahertz or the 2.4 gigahertz settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the 5 gigahertz first. It's going to be a country, so if you have a world unit, you'll be able to select your proper country or domain. Your operational mode, okay, because we are in 80 megahertz, it's only .811 AC. 40 megahertz, you're going to have to click OK. All right, to switch between, once that's done, you have 802.11n and then A, and then if you want A, NA, and AC, you're going to need 20 megahertz as a single channel. All right. Up next, we have the auto channel select, and we also have the specific channels, which are based on your regulatory domain. All right. So here we have your VAP, which is going to be your virtual access point, your SSID. So by default, we have your first one over here. Okay. We're going to cover security. Okay. But once we have security set up, which is going to be down here, right? If you have multiple securities packages, you'll be able to select what a profile you have. Down here, we have either local MAC authentication, MAC ACL. If we have using radius, or if you're using radius accounting, be able to go ahead and add them all. All right. Same thing for 2.4 gigahertz. Right. We have in 2.4, we have B, G, NG, pure G, and pure N. Okay, and then 40 megahertz, we have NG and pure N. Okay, click OK here, and then once again the exact same thing. We have your channels, SSID, and so on. So if you want multiple SSIDs, go ahead and click on this multiple VAP. Now, the true to use multiple SSIDs in the true form, you're going to have the VLANs enabled. That way, you have your own separate broadcast domain. Other than that, you can have all these 4, but at the end of the day, they're still going to end up in the same back end. Okay. Just go ahead and when you select your VAP, says your 5 gigahertz, here's your 2.4. Go ahead and change your SSID over here, enable it, disable it, and if you have multiple security profiles, go ahead and select whichever one you want. Okay. We'll go backwards. We have security. Okay, so here's your default one. You could change it to whatever you want, enable, disable, or delete. When you click edit, you'll be able to select whichever one you want. None, where PSK .1x, which is radius. Okay, for PSK, it's going to give you options for typical AES and the combination of the two. Your passphrase, okay, and enable and disable. So you can just keep on adding. Okay, adding, and then when you're actually done, once again, if you have multiple, just go ahead and pull this down, select the one you want, and you're fine. Okay. MAC authentication. This is for local MAC authentication. Okay. MAC ACL table. So basically, go ahead and add the MAC addresses here. If you have denial, the MAC addresses that are here will be blocked. If you have allow, only the MAC addresses that you have here are going to be allowed. The rest are going to be blocked. Okay. So click add. Just go ahead and do whatever you want. Enable, disable. Okay, and then last but not least, it's going to be the radius server. It's just a IP address for your primary and secondary, your server port, your shared secret between you and the radius server. The status, okay, for your primary and secondary, and the exact same thing for your accounting. Okay, don't forget to click OK, and then commit. As you can see right over here, because we made some changes, it's saying that boot is required. Okay, so you still have to hit commit and then reboot. All right, so let's go ahead and cover management and then file management. Management is, this is where you're going to change your, pretty much all your passwords. HTTP, HTTPS, okay, be able to change your port if you want, your admin and monitor passwords. Here's your Telnet SSH. If you enable Telnet, by default, everything's enabled. Port 23, port 22, how many sessions for Telnet, and then how many per for SSH. Make sure you go ahead and click OK every single time. Okay, down here we have logs. Okay, this is going to be for your event log. Okay, down here is going to be for your syslog. Remember, for debug is going to cover everything up above, so it really depends on what you're looking for. Okay, down here is going to be your syslog host IP address if you're going to have a syslog that you want to put in. So go ahead and put in your IP address and then your the host port and then whatever comment you want. Here's your contact detail info, and then here is we have our SNMP 1.2 VC, and then if you're going to do version 3, go ahead and click OK. Go ahead and type in all the information that you need. As for 2C, this is all public by default. Okay, and if you have SNMP trap host table, go ahead and add more in here, or just go ahead and add the IP address here. If you're using the password, go ahead and do that. Okay, file management is be able to do a firmware upgrade. Yeah, just go ahead and browse to wherever your firmware is. Go ahead and upgrade, or upgrade and reboot. Upgrade configuration. Okay, if we have a configuration file, go ahead and do the same thing. Upgrade and reboot. Retrieve from device. We'll be able to do config, event, temp log, debug, configuration, profile, and then license info. Hit retrieve. It's just going to download it for you. And then here is reset to factory defaults. This is one of the ways. Just go ahead and reset this, and the rate is going to reset back to defaults. Okay, let's go ahead and cover interface stats, network stats, and station stats, all statistics. Okay, interface statistics covers the 5 gig and the 2.4. We have consolidated over here, so this is just basic everything that radio is seen. Wireless 1 is the 5 gigahertz. Wireless 2 is the 2.4. Okay, we have Ethernet 1 and 2. Since Ethernet 1 is up, we have information traffic key Ethernet 2 is down. That's the red. We have nothing here. Okay. If you click on 5 gigahertz, it's going to show everything that's happened in the 5. I don't have anything in the 5 right now, and you can see that it also shows per VAP. 2.4, we do have a access client card connected to it, just to the first VAP. The other two are off right now, hence the red. Okay. Network statistics just covers ARP, radius, IP address, and things like that. So it kind of shows the ARP, the MAC address, the IP address, and how it's being obtained. Radius, if we had radius authentication right now, we would show all radius info. IP address table. And this is the IP address of the radio itself. Okay, we have the learn bridge table. This is basically everything that that it has learned on the Ethernet port. All right, DNS. Saying there's no DNS information in right now, so if we did, it would pop up here. And if we had a DHCP server active, we would show all the active leases over here. Okay, last but not least, it's going to be the station stats. Okay, now this is going to show you what is connected to the access point. Right now, we have one client connected. Okay, on my 2.4, so it's connected at .g. Tells you the state, if there's any VLANs, association time in seconds, power serve mode, all the information for reception and for retransmission is going to be here. Also have the option to disassociate the client. See, he's gone. Once now you're gonna have to force him to reconnect, re-authenticate. All right, so now we're down to our last three. We're going to cover the spectrum scan, the scan tool, and the console. All right, so the spectrum scan is pretty much identical to what we seen in the summary page down here. Exact same thing. Okay, you have your 5 gigahertz, your 2.4 gigahertz. As we have around here, it sees something on these channels, and then kind of scroll down, we'll be able to see exactly what it sees channel-wise, and if it's an access point or client, and so on. Scan tool, when you click scan, it's going to go out and scan for all Proxim devices. This is limited to about 32 devices. So if you have a large network, I wouldn't recommend using it. Use the actual scan tool itself. Okay, and then last but not least is the console. Now the console is really designed for technical support, for engineering purposes. So there's really nothing for a customer to do here. Okay, if you have any questions regarding everything that we have covered for the AP-9100R, please contact Proxim Technical Support, and we'll be more than happy to assist you.
To learn more about Proxim Wireless and our solutions, please visit us at proxim.com or follow us at Twitter @Proxim.